What is going on, fellow board members? Welcome to another episode of Ord is Board. So guys, I am here with some really awesome friends of mine. To my left is Chuck of Chuck Loaded Comics. And to my further left is Shauna from Chuck Loaded Comics. Over here, we have Ryan from the ChumpCast. And far right, we have Andy over there with Chuck Loaded Comics as well. How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic.
Doing so good, man. Having a great time
really
here at
friends?
Comic-Con.
No.
Just acquaintances?
More than friends.
Come on, man.
Ooh, more than
Well,
More than friends.
We can hold hands walking out of here later. It'll be fun, I promise. Oh, yes, exactly.
There's the hand reach.
Exactly. All right, guys, so I just wanted to do this episode here to talk a little bit about the first con experience. For those of you who might be new to conventions, things like that. We're going to be talking about sharing some stories, and we have a guy who's actually been working cons as well with Chuck Load, so he'll give us a little introspect into like the before and after, going to the cons and then working cons, things like that. So I just want to kind of do a quick roundtable with you guys. Sound good?
That sounds amazing.
Awesome.
No,
Fantastic,
terrible.
man.
I'm out.
I'm so excited about this.
Okay, well, again, if you leave, let me know. We're going to hold hands.
Okay.
All right, so Chuck, let's start with you, I guess. Tell me, do you remember your first con?
I do. We started going to C2E2, I don't know, about 6 years ago,
Yeah.
I think, and we went for one day. It was our first con ever. We went
Nice.
for one single day. We didn't dress up. We had never been to a con before, and I was like, oh my God, we had the funnest day. We got to meet Ernie Hudson from the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I know that
Oh
sounds
my
like
God.
a really B-list meet.
No, that's...
But I have set a goal for myself to meet every single Ghostbuster, and we have, except for Bill Murray.
Isn't that awesome?
We met them all. We met, what's his name?
Harold
Ramis
Yeah,
before
Harold
he passed
Ramis before he
away.
passed
Oh,
away,
good.
yeah.
Nice job.
We
on
got
that
to
one.
meet Dan Aykroyd at a Benny's liquor store.
What?
But that's a whole nother podcast.
Okay, all right.
He
I'm
was
like, wait.
selling his liquor.
So it was great. Like we had
Okay,
the best
okay.
con experience. We met Ernie Hudson. We got to sit down. I'm a big Mad Magazine fan, so we got to sit down with Tom Richmond.
Nice.
He did this sketch of me and Shauna and our cat in the Mad Magazine style. It was just like the greatest day ever.
Yeah.
Am I right, Shauna?
Yeah. So we share the same first con experience. So he just told mine. I don't know how much
Darn it.
more I can say.
What was like for you, Shauna? Was there something like specific that you remember personally from that day?
I just remember loving the cosplay, like all the
Yeah.
and just the energy in the convention, because there were just a bunch of like-minded people there enjoying the same things, and
Yeah,
it was just
yeah.
and everybody's friendly and excited and happy, and you could feel that energy, and then we were hooked immediately.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I think, cosplay being a big part of it, I think that's what draws a lot of people in. People appreciate that stuff, but, maybe are a little leery to, like, do it.
Yeah.
Can come and see and, feel, this is a place where they can feel comfortable doing that sort of thing.
Right.
So, I remember my first time when I went in and just the cosplay. I think that one of the first ones I saw was, like, Casey Jones from
Right.
the live action Ninja Turtles movies in the early
Nice.
90s.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so like that set the precedence for me. But awesome, guys. So Ryan, tell
Hi.
me about your first con. How you doing?
Well, thank you very much for having me, first of all.
Absolutely.
My earliest memory of any con at all is G4 TV. First of all,
Oh,
and I
old
know
school.
that I wasn't
Deep
there,
cuts.
but
No, I know.
way back in the day when I was in college, I would watch everything that was going on at San Diego Comic-Con, and I was just like, I need to be there immediately.
Oh wow.
And
How old
unfortunately,
were you?
well, when I was in college, I was 19, I think.
about average
Back
age.
when G4 still existed.
Yeah,
so
right.
this was, I don't know, 15 years ago, unfortunately. Rest in peace, G4. But I would watch it, and I would see, like, Chris Hardwick there, and I would just be like, oh, my God, I really just
Oh, yeah.
want to go there right now. And by the time that I moved to Chicago, I was like, okay, I can do this now. My first con ever was C2E2, and I remember at the time, I believe that I was reading for the first time Southern Bastards,
Oh,
which was
Jason Aaron.
Jason Latour.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Jason Aaron.
And I remember seeing on the slate, like, I can go to a panel and listen to these guys talk. And to me, at the time, they were celebrities, which is, they're just guys.
They still are.
But I was like, oh my
Right.
God, I can go listen to Jason Latour talk about drawing Southern Bastards. Which is, now I look back at it and I'm like, yeah, whatever. They'll go talk to anybody. But I just, that connection that I had for the first panel that I went to at a comic convention at C2E2 was just ridiculous to me, and it's something that I will never forget. And I tweeted him before, and I was like, "Hey, Jason Latour, you want to drink some whiskey with me?" And he was like, "Absolutely,
Wait,
I
what?
do."
Yeah, what? What,
And
you
anything that
really?
happened beyond that is
I don't
is
remember
not-
a panel ever going that way for me ever. No life.
Well,
And you've worked cons before, so it's like, look at you. You know, it's funny you say that about the tweeting thing because, apparently that happens a lot more. I mean, you've had some experience with that, like tweeting out, celebs and getting their
Yeah,
attention,
that's
right?
We
really
had a
funny.
whisper campaign work.
We started
actually.
a whisper campaign at C2E2 last year. We heard that Dave Mustaine was coming to the con. And I was like, wow, I'd really like to meet Dave Mustaine. I love Megadeth. Why not?
Right.
So we're sitting at Home Run Inn Pizzeria, and I was like, you know what? We did a little research on him. We found out he was a winemaker. So we found out all the information about his wine that he makes, and we just put out a tweet. Just threw out a tweet and said, come meet Dave Mustaine at the Chuck Little Comics booth on Saturday.
We're gonna do a wine tasting.
We're going to do a wine tasting of his wine. And we just threw that out there. Didn't exist. Wasn't a real thing. Just completely made up in our heads. Dave Mustaine got the tweet, retweeted it, and then boom. It just went electric. It went crazy. And it was just like millions of retweets. Well, not millions, but hundreds. And then we showed up to the con and went to Dave Mustaine's table, and he wasn't there, but his handler guy was there, his manager was there. And he's like, yeah, no, you're the guys doing the wine tasting, right? Yes, we are.
The funny part is
Nailed
we
it.
didn't have any
We didn't have his
the
wine.
wine.
We had none of his wine, so we went to Trader Joe's and got some $2 Chuck and poured them into plastic cups.
Holy
and
shit.
and just pretended it was the Dave Mustaine
There you
wine.
go.
And sure enough, we're standing around C2E2, and we turned around, and who's standing right there at our booth? But Mr. Dave Mustaine. And we're like, crap, we got to pour the Trader Joe's wine really, really quick.
Yeah.
And he sat down and he talked to us, and it's super fun interview. We tasted the wine, we talked about all this stuff. At the end of the interview, checked the audio. Dave Mustaine kicked the mic cord out.
Oh. The
So
professional
none of
musician
it,
kicked the
all
microphone.
of that wound up being an interview that
We only have
it
photos
that
of
exists
now.
in our minds and our hearts and our memories.
But it was a whisper campaign. Started
Okay,
with
yeah.
Twitter.
But it started through Twitter.
Throw it into the ether and see what happens, guys. So, Andy,
What's up, sir?
talk to me, brother. Tell me about your first con experience, man.
First con experience was actually with Shauna and Chuck too.
Nice.
First con, it was actually at McCormick Place,
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
right by the airport, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Or-
McCoy
Yeah,
Place.
I
I
mean,
love
I-
that place.
I
The
don't know
venue
where
is
it
That's
huge there.
C2E2.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's about like a $40 cab ride from the Cubs Stadium there, so it's that far. Actually, the first time I actually got the pleasure to watch a private screening of was it M Night's
Oh,
Yes.
that's right.
That's right.
with,
What was the name of that show? That M. Night Shyamalan
the
show.
Most handsome man on the planet. What's
Chris
his name?
Hemsworth.
Matt
Yeah,
Dillon
Matt
was
Dillon.
in it. Matt Dillon was
Ryan-
in the
Yeah,
show.
that guy's a cool
sorry, that's
bastard,
me.
man. So yeah, that was really cool, and they made
And
it.
Shyamalan was there.
Yeah, they
And Matt
Shyamalan
Dillon.
was
And
there.
Matt
See,
Dillon
I mean,
showed up.
I
Yeah.
had so much fun. I completely forgot. I came up on some loot. Came up on a shoot load of like you know comics and toys and shit and stuff.
Yeah.
It was great. But yeah, the whole trying to think of the name of the movie of the
I forget the name
TV
of the show. It's since been canceled.
But yeah, it's long canceled. But yeah, it was
But it was a
fun.
good show.
It was
How
a
many,
great,
how many
great
years
con.
ago was this? How many years?
4 years ago.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So
So
anything
you're relatively new.
I'm new.
No, yeah. I
This
think.
is probably like my 5th con.
Oh, right on. Yeah. I'm probably close to that. I think I started probably about 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything that stuck out to you, like specifically? Was that just the?
Like he was saying, once you just you meet your freaking idols.
Yeah.
It was it was Rob Gilliam or Gilliam. I'm
Yeah.
mispronouncing the name, but I saw him. He's the illustrator for Chew.
Okay. Yeah. Choose a good book.
And he was just pumping his new solo book where he's a writer, director, illustrator, all that crap. It's what's it called? It's a good movie. It's I don't want to say
You
funny
are batting
farm-
1,000 with your research, my friend.
Farmhand. Yeah, so you guys should check out Farmhand. It's an
Farmhand.
excellent book.
All right, check it out, guys. Yeah, so I guess with me, my first con experience, pretty interesting. I've always liked comic books. I've always wanted to go to these things as a younger person. Never really getting a chance to. So I used to listen to WGN radio a lot. So you guys who are here from Chicago know
Sure.
WGN.
Never heard of it.
Never heard. Never. Oh, that's okay.
It's all fake news.
720. Check it out. I think that's AM. But anyways, yeah, I used to listen to a lot of that. And that's kind of what really got me interested in podcasting and stuff like that was the talk radio type stuff. So they were doing a contest for Wizard World, and it was a 1-day pass. But it also came with tickets to the Star Trek Next Generation panel hosted by William Shatner.
Whoa.
Which
Gotta be there.
Yeah. So I won tickets. I think I got 4. Picked my 4 friends. We went. I remember the first time walking. It was actually this building was the first time I actually went to a con. Yeah, it was Wizard World. So I think that was they have them in August. But anyway, the second I walked through the door, just the wonder, the cosplay, I don't think I see a sad face in the house, man.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, like, as a person who would go to comic book shops and look through back issues and stuff, with your first con, you don't have any idea how many comic books are here until you walk through that door.
No clue.
I'm like, there's no way in a 1 weekend anybody can go through every single long box in this con.
No.
I stopped at the first booth and I tried to go through an hour and a half later. I'm like, I'm still here.
Yeah.
What the hell? So did all that, and then we went to the panel. So it was hosted by William Shatner. I think William Shatner was drunk the whole thing.
Oh,
it was a Sunday.
I hope so.
Yeah, well, he definitely was looking drunk, and I think
P.J. Hooker.
Was it Patrick Stewart came on? I think he might have been a little stoned too. I don't know, but anyway, the buddy that I brought with me, he had been to several cons and checked out panels and things like that, and he said that was a pretty unique panel to see, just because it was Sunday. Everyone's really relaxed. They're kind of winding down for the weekend.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed myself. That was really my highlight was the panel that I got to see with Next Gen, which is probably one of my favorite Star Trek shows. So yeah, guys. First con experience. Let's go through and talk a little bit about maybe you guys got some tips for people.
Actually, if I can stop you, there's a gentleman over here.
Yes.
In the audience
Get him in here.
area by the name of Foss has got one of the coolest.
Foss.
We were talking earlier about his first con experience.
Yes, let's
Please
listen.
share it with us. It's pretty epic.
So, God, I guess I would have been probably 11 or 12. It was the year that Image launched. I remember
wow.
that. And I'd gotten really into comics, and it was around my birthday. It was here in Schaumburg, or Rosemont. Is that where we are? So it was in Rosemont. It wasn't at the convention center. It was in like a hotel convention space. I don't remember which one. But we were coming back from visiting my grandparents, and my parents like drove into this parking lot where there's all these signs about comic books. I'm like, where are we going? And this is the first time they'd even acknowledged that I was this avid comic book reader. And they're like, we're going to a comic book convention. I didn't even know these things existed. So they took us in, and Image was had their own little tent, and it was all of the original creators. And so we went through, and they were just at little tables, sitting there signing comic books. And Larson, what's his name? Savage Dragon.
Crickets. Oh.
Savage Dragon.
Andy, Savage Dragon.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, that's a great. I actually made it like 12 issues in, and I stopped reading it.
So yeah, it was all of their first issues had just come out, and Larson saw me in line, and my mom was like taking little pictures. He's like, "Hey, you want to come around back?" So he walked me around behind the table and then took pictures with every single one of the original creators.
Wow.
So let's just break that down for a second.
Yeah.
So you have pictures somewhere.
Jim Lee,
Yeah, Jim Lee,
Todd McFarlane.
So McFarlane, when I came up behind him, he didn't know what was going on, and Larson was standing with me and kind of walking me through this whole thing, and McFarlane looked behind me. He's like, "Where the fuck did you come from?" And I was like, "Oh my god, McFarlane just swore at me." You know what I mean? But yeah, it was probably like 11. Yeah, I think Willis Porticio was there. Silver Street was there. I think. Who else was there? Who's the guy who?
I have a question. Can coming from I'm gonna just come out and say I'm an old bastard. I'm 38. I grew up on HBO's Spawn.
Yeah.
It came on Saturdays at like 12.
Yeah.
What type of person is Todd?
So, I mean, it's not like we hung out and got drinks, but at first I thought he was pretty abrasive just because he shocked me. He kind of swore. He didn't know. But then I realized he was kind of joking. And it was kind of like,
kinda
hey,
dorky.
cool. I don't know who the fuck you are, kid, but, like, apparently you're cool enough to be back here with us. That was kind of the vibe. It was cool.
So
it was very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that was my first Comic-Con.
Oh, and that's probably what you remember the most.
Oh, yeah,
Wait, what a
absolutely.
great way to start that
Yeah.
experience. I mean,
Right?
Well, and that's probably, I think I went to one in high school, and then that was it until I had kids, and then I, started bringing them to cons. Like, oh, I can do this, and I can actually afford it now.
So
that kind of
this
thing.
was probably back when cons were a lot smaller, and some of those writers and artists were probably a little more accessible, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the next time I went to Comic-Con, which was probably 2 or 3 years later, it was like an hour wait. Each artist had their own booth, that was you had to go through these specific convention halls, and they were in their own areas. It was a totally different experience to see all of the same guys. You know, to the point where like I didn't want to do it. I don't want to stand in line. I don't like standing in line no matter what.
I know how that goes.
So yeah, it was pretty wild. It was pretty unique.
Oh hell yeah!
One.
So it sounds like everybody's had a pretty unique it made an impact on your
Right?
guys' lives.
Without a doubt.
So moving into the last bit of this episode here, Chuck, do you have any tips for the viewers out there on
Yeah.
like what not to do, what to do during cons, things like that?
Honestly, the biggest tip I can give anybody who's never been to a con before is make a plan. Look at what's going on. Look at the panels that are happening, you know, and pick
Yes.
some things you really want to see because there's so much to do at these conventions. It's just this nonstop list of panels, artists that you can meet in Artist Alley, and
Right.
you can't do it all in one day. So
Yep.
the beauty is like we live in the internet age where you can just go on the website, cherry pick all the things you want to see, and just pick a few things you want to do and just go do those things. And get a 3-day pass because it's hard to do it all in one day.
Yeah, and I will say it is difficult sometimes when you there's like a panel or a time slot where somebody's doing autographs and they kind of you got to pick and choose, man. I
Conflict,
mean,
yeah.
there's lots of things going on at the same time that you want to see, and unfortunately, we don't have the technology to be in two places at once yet. So
I would say one thing that you really should have planned for, but it's one of those things. Once you have it, you feel glad that you have it. Is a small bottle of the Chuckload of Germs. Because there's a lot of people here, and there's all sorts of coughing and sneezing and children.
I mean, it is really
know.
one of the panelists. I mean,
It gives you peace of mind
Germ
going
gel
through
is
a
a good
toy,
one.
knowing you'll be able to clean your hands when the toy's done.
So anytime you're at a convention and Chuck's there, make sure you come by and ungerm your hands.
Yeah.
Don't touch your mouth. Don't touch
Somebody
your eyes.
put that toy in their mouth at some point.
Germs
Right.
are everywhere, man.
So Ryan, do you have any advice for us on
I do.
first con experience?
Not just based on the first con, but do not buy the first thing you see, because if you buy
Yes,
that
yes,
and
yes.
you like, even if you like it,
I'm so
I
bad.
promise you will see something that you like more than the first thing that you saw that you originally liked.
Oh, so yeah, it's like earlier today, we were looking at pop figures. Me and Amber were looking at pop figures, and so I kind of taking it easy. I finally dive into a booth. I'm there. I'm like, ooh, that one. Ooh, that one. Ooh, that one. I've already got like 3 things I'm buying tomorrow. So, and I told the guys at the booth that I'm going to be spending money. So I kind of have to. But yeah, no, it's
There will always be somebody that has the same thing that you saw in the first booth.
yes.
for cheaper.
I mean,
for
unless
cheaper
it's-
a lot of times, and you can haggle with them.
Very specific to Artist Alley. I promise you, you will find that Funko Pop. You will find that T-shirt. You will find something similar to art that you were looking at. Just wait.
Well, not
And
even
if,
that.
If go ahead.
No, I mean not even that. But if you buy it, I totally concur with you and completely agree. But you also have to carry it around with you.
Yes,
For
that-
as
That
a
is
good
yes,
point.
yes.
That too.
Which brings up to my advice, guys. Make sure you bring a bag to
Right.
carry stuff, because you're a person who likes to spend money, especially if you're like getting comic books signed. You don't want them damaged, guys. It is a huge pain in the butt to walk around this entire convention and carry everything
With a sword on your back. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So that would be my advice to you guys.
Shauna, anything?
Yeah.
Oh, well, see a panel. I mean, I know we kind of talked about panels, but you will get exhausted walking around the convention
Yes.
floor, and it's amazing how relaxing just sitting down
Pick you up.
at a panel can be. You get refreshed, you sit down, watch a panel for an hour, and you're like, all right, I'm ready to go again. Let's do this. Get
Yeah,
some
totally.
beer,
You ever
yeah.
have it where like you're watching a panel and then after you still don't even want to get up and you stay for the next panel?
Yeah.
Done that before.
Oh, yeah, that's happened before.
I actually fell asleep in a screening one time, I think.
Yeah, when'd you wake up? Before like after everybody was gone?
Stan Lee was on stage, woke up. No, that's not a true story.
Hey, Shauna, besides Stan Lee, what was the coolest panel that you've seen? Take away
Good
Stan
question.
Lee or take away Kevin Smith? What's
Ooh.
your
Oh,
favorite panel?
Bruce
Campbell?
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell's so great.
That was a fun
He's so much
panel.
fun.
Nice.
I
He
would
was a really
follow
nice
that
guy.
man into hell.
Oh, I was gonna say your reaction. I thought you were disagreeing with me, man.
No.
that he
Ryan
was
got
Campbell
excited.
is my idol.
That panel that we saw, it was the entire cast. It was him and the cast
Ash
of
vs. Evil
the
Dead.
Ash vs. Evil Dead. It was they
It was
were
hilarious. They were all
drunk.
drunk.
Great.
They
It was
were
the funniest
not
thing.
Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell
Bruce was
sober,
sober. The
but his
rest of the cast was
co-stars were
hammered.
wasted, and
It was
girl,
pretty
people
funny.
in the audience.
Good for them.
They were asking questions, and one girl like raised her hand and talked to the guy about how she met him at the bar last night, and he gave him her number, and he
That's
didn't
funny.
call her. And it was
Called her out right there in front of everybody.
Funny.
best panel ever.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a good one, man. But all right, cool guys. Well, I appreciate you guys being here. Ryan from the ChumpCast, Eddie from Chuck Load, Chuck from Chuck Load, and Shauna from Chuck Load. You guys are awesome. Yeah, guys, take some of this advice, apply it, and hopefully you guys have a good time here at AceCon, Comic-Con this weekend. With that being said, guys, Chuck, thank you guys. Go check out
Thank
Chuck's
you,
channel.
man.
Yeah,
Thank you for
absolutely.
having me, man.
Thank
Absolutely,
you
yeah, you
so
guys-
much.
One-
This is
one-
fun.
one-
Yeah.
one- I have one real thing.
Let's
I
hear
mean,
it.
the Clark, everything just collided with me while you were talking. Like the first question, we're talking
Like the Big Bang.
No, it's wine. So we have a lot of celebs and famous people that are having their own wine company. You know, and is that basically because they all live on the West Coast?
I think it's a question for another podcast.
Sorry,
never
Andy.
mind.
All right. Well, yeah, anyway, guys, go check out Chuckload of Comics, youtube.com. Just search Chuckload of Comics. You'll find them there. Subscribe. Check out the ChumpCast with Ryan here, guys. Make sure you subscribe to those guys as well. Guys, thank you so much for being here with us. Yeah, I love all of you guys. And that's it for the first Con Experience panel. We will catch you guys on the other side. I love all of you. We'll see you later. Peace.
What? I love
Right.
you
Have a
too.
good
Oh
day.
my God.
Love you.
Thanks
I love you
again,
so
Jordan.
much.
You're the best.
They're holding hands on the way out.
Thanks, guys.
Cool, dude.